Welcome to the top of the world.
Hello and welcome. Welcome to Top of the World. If it's your first time, I'm Simon. And this is a cabin we sealed up at the end of summer last year. We had the last week in July. Has it taken me months to get here? Yes. And that's because, well, I just don't even know which way's up. I'm so busy right at the moment. In addition to that, at the beginning of summer, everybody comes to their holiday homes, and I have been just rushed. Plumbing, leaks, blockages, emergencies, can we do this now type of thing. So all of that's kind of calmed down. All the summer residents are in residence and they're all happy. Some are even about to leave. So we left this last year needing the door and the window for this entrance. Some kind of misunderstanding, miscommunication. I thought the owner was having a door and window made. Anyway, we've got the door. It's time to open up this cabin and continue the work. We've got to move some windows around. We've got a lot of other windows which I didn't know about, and sashes over in another barn we've got to go and look at so that we can match this. So we've got to move a window, insert a door and a window, put the logs underneath. Casper seems to be a little better this morning and is going around grazing like a cow or a horse or a donkey. Anyway, so they've also been given permission to build a set of steps for this, right? So we're going to do that in the shop, but it means that we can put steps in there. And we've got to tidy up along the front. The owner's been here and started to paint. So a start's been made at the top there, look. Okay, let's show you what I got inside. Right, this door, the opening out scenario here in Sweden still perplexes me. I really tried to persuade the owner to have this door open in, because doors should open in. In addition to that, opening in, right, would stop the problem we've got here. Well, obviously they're not very happy with that because it doesn't open all the way up. Well, it wouldn't, because it doesn't open in, right? It's the problem with having this overhang with the eaves of the pitch of the roof and. Okay, so you're all familiar inside. So it's been requested that I now remove this window and put it next to that window here. And then we've got the new door and we're going to put that in there. And there's the window that we built with a new window frame and installed that. There's no sashes for this window here. So we're generally short on things that are right and the right size. So our job for the day is going to be remove that window from there, put it on that post next to this one, put that door frame in there. So we want that window and door in there. That's our task for today. Does that mean we've got to cut into these logs again? Oh my God. I can't tell you how much I hate that. Anyway, and the other thing that was asked was whether I could move this door this way slightly, because obviously it's hitting the rafter there, obviously, because it should have opened in and then there would have been no issue. If that door had opened in that way. Anyway, what's the point in talking about it? Because you can do that till you're blue in the face. Okay, let's open this up to start with then, and we can resume where we left off 9 months ago, 10 months ago. It's the most stunning morning. It's a bit wet because it's been raining, but it's absolutely still and completely silent except for the sound of my voice. And that car going down the road. Okay, let's work on this. in preparation for cutting into this cabin again, I bought the shittiest electric chainsaw that I never used that was sitting in the shop. I don't even know if it works. Anyway, before I do any more chains and another bar, I have bought my Husqvarna, and I just put a new bar and new chain on it because I'm doing that big job. I have bought an old chain and an old bar to swap it over if this don't work. So let's hope this don't work, but the cost of the chains and the bars, just let me see if I can do it with this first. Well, the chain's got to be on backwards, isn't it? What? Right, that's not going to work. So, let's try something else. Okay, take the door frame, Simon, and do what you do best. Put it in so the door opens in. Oh. Well, I did that right. Look at that. Okay. Just a door that opens in. Yes. Like that. Let's do that, and then we've got to make these lugs in under there. Screw all this up. Secure it all. Of course, this has got no sashes. This. I like my job, really. Love it. I do. I just can't. Do you know, this place would be stunning if it were not for the mosquitoes. The mosquitoes here are like nowhere else. Vicious things. Anyway, there's a lot of them, and if the sun dare come out, another 2 million will hatch in 10 minutes and descend on the nearest blood source, me. Right, that's the door and window frame fitted. Right, I've cut those logs in below, and I needed to do that rather than anything else because the stairs are going to be here. This is as you approach the building, this is your eye line. You know, look at that lovely birch sill, been allowed to get mould on it because it's not been treated. Pains me, I need to get on. Right, so the next thing I'm going to do is fit the sash, take that one out, fit it, and then fit the sashes in the windows so that I can complete this corner. So I've been round and I'm stuffing all the joints with this whose name escapes me. We've hung the door so we can close the door. Very nice, I really like that. I really like that. Okay, so, you know, I'm going on about the doors, forget the doors. Right, then it was not my suggestion to take that window out over there and put it next to there so they both match, because both of these come from the same building, so they're identical, right, made by the same man. But I just love that whole area with this big window now. You know, it's quite a dark cabin. Look at it now. I love that. Okay, I really like that. So now I'm gonna fit all the sashes so that I can complete this corner ready for trims and then painting. So let's do that next. I need to take that wind post off of there now, or do I? Am I reluctant to take that off of there? I think I might just leave that until we get to the interior. Obviously that's fallen down up there, look. I don't know how that's happened. Anyway, we need to put that back in. But now we're gonna fit. We've got 2 sashes there, a third one, but 2 there for here. They just don't fit properly. And then take this one out, which is just temporarily screwed in, plane it all down to make it fit, and get this corner wind and watertight, weathertight, and the door. There, it's no problem opening in. I'm not even going to talk about it. Right. Let's do that then. Wow, I have to show you this because I just unscrewed that one from the inside where it was temporarily pinned, and I couldn't remember why I didn't fit that till we come to the window where it was pinned. Well, what do we notice about this? Well, that it's hinged. It's not hinged on the side, it's hinged on the mullion in the centre. I don't even understand how. Anyway, you can't put the sash in because you. Oh shit! Oh, it's just mental. Who would hinge a window in the? Well, I'll tell you, nobody hinges the window in the middle. I never even noticed it was hinged like that, and it's just like, what even is? Anyway, the reason I couldn't put that sash in is because there's screws sticking into the rebate. I just don't even know what to do about that. I didn't bring an angle grinder because I weren't planning on anyway, let me get rid of those, because that's just what I should do is take that sash out, right, and then hang it, but I'm not going to. I can't cope with the bonkersness of it all. I'm just going to cut those off and fit that sash. Anyway, we are looking good now. So once this is cleaned up and trimmed off and painted, spectacular is the word. Okay, I've got to do a little bit of planing then and sorting out to get those in there, and then we're going to fit that frame into that last remaining hole, so we've got windows and doors all round. Alright, my task for the day was to get this building closed in so that we can now, for those that you don't remember, when we moved this cabin, this didn't have a corner. This whole building was cut off here. And that was like a flat window there that overlooked the river. So we've made the building square again, but it wasn't. Okay. You know what I wonder? I wonder if I take that fillet out there and chop that log off at the top, whether if I move that door open just that amount, it's got to help, innit? We can just get that door open a bit more. It's got to help. I can't tell you how many times I've had to touch that door opening out. Anyway, don't go on about it, Simon. But if I take that door frame back out, and there's a fillet down there, take that out, chop that back, and move that over. I wonder if I can just get enough room for that door to open more. I've moved the entire door over 3 inches without cutting all that thing. Did I check it for nails? Numerous times, yes. Right, so I moved it over 3 inches. And I have shaved off a bit off the rafter there, as good as makes no difference, to allow the door open to. So far, right, you can't open any further because it hits the roof. Right, that is the maximum that door can open. Now it's hard on the roof. Right, so you can't open any more than that. So even if that rafter weren't in the way, that door could not open any further. Okay, so that's better than it was by a lot. Now, I was asked to put a pair of steps there. Let's go back to doors opening out. Let's go back to doors opening out. How ridiculous. Right, so now you're coming up a set of stairs here. Right, you've arrived at the top of the stairs in front of the door. Okay? Whilst stood at the top of the stairs, I mean, it's not... Right, what are you going to do? Where are you going to open the door? Right? Oh, I know, it's a good idea. Let's walk right back and teeter on our toes. Right, now we can open the door. There you go. And we can go in. Okay, that's much better. That's much better. I've got this now to deal with, but yeah, I like it. Right, okay, door moved. Wasn't a stress at all. I just moved the door because it opens out. and then you can come out and then you can open it sideways. Oh, I suppose you could. Oh, you could do that, couldn't you? You could come to the top of the stairs, right, and then sidestep and open the door, as opposed to just open the door and walk in. Okay. Right, door moved. Good. Put the rounds on these where required. Now I've got to do all of this and put all this stuff back in and trim around the door, and then I can start measure up for all the final trims. And then while we're here today, we're going to go and lower a gutter in on this building and then look at this. You could probably see from here, right, something bad is happening to that building. I've got a story about that. Is it as bad as it looks? Oh yeah. Okay. Moved, trimmed, installed, trimmed. Now none of it's prepped, obviously, for paint, so you can clearly see screws. These all need paint flexing in or whatever you use to plug them and paint it over. I'm not finished there, so I've got some trickery to do here to make this corner look good. Okay. And I can't trim this window and the end window because whilst there's a lot of timber here on site, absolutely nothing is consistent. So I've got a lot of work to do there, but everything I've done, and then of course as I'm going I'm stuffing the old, I can't remember the name of it, in behind all the trims. I've also done a couple of rows across here which have been started. Everywhere where there was a gap is now filled, insulated. That's it. That's all I can do here now, because now I need to make up some decent lumber so I can turn it into trims for both the rest of the outside and the inside. We're going to move over there now and whip that gutter off and lower that gutter in. There should be a new aerial. The aerial got dragged off in the snow. I've got to put a new aerial up there. And whilst we're over there with that gutter in, we'll take a closer look at the corner of that building. So, I don't want you to get too distracted by the dog, but I do want you to stare at that building behind me. Take a good, long, hard look, because there are a number of things going on with the existing building. Underneath that lovely facade, and it is a lovely facade, there is the original log cabin, which was 1.5 stories high, 2 rooms long, would have had an outhouse. That's still under there. The original logs they built the roof with is still under there. So if we start by looking at the roof, clearly the roof is slowly deteriorating because it will have a single tree running through the middle, and they didn't really know how to build A-frames properly at all. Anyway, so it is old, but it's not that old. I guess you could say it's old for here, right? But if you compare the age of that building to buildings that I'm used to renovating from the 1880s, 1890s, 1900s, they're palaces, right? Built correctly with some kind of code, with men that knew what they were doing. Here these were knocked up with an axe and some square nails. Okay, there's a number of things going on with the main roof, and you can see a degradation in this corner here. Something's moving slowly. That's not my concern. That's been moving slowly for a while. The main building, whilst it probably needs a bit of propping and a man that knows what he's doing in there, it's fine. It's this extension that's no longer fine. Now I'm going to take you for a closer look and tell you everything I know, and I've just spent 30 minutes looking at it, and I'll be able to highlight all the issues straight away. What's happening with the subsidence on this building is new, and it's happening relatively quickly. So we've got an issue underground for absolute sure. I'll show you what I found. Whilst the owner was explaining to me about the movement on this, and it's caught my eye ever since I come onto this property 14 months ago. Something has caught my eye that I'm just not happy with. What I was told was a couple of years ago, a man dug a really big hole there, something to do with water, I don't know, but all the rocks on the other side of the road came out of a huge hole here and it got bigger. And allegedly, shortly after that is when this started moving. Right, so I'm going to show you what I can see. So this whole section here is clearly an extension. Oh look, it's trotting. He must have smelt something interesting. Right, so we're into the extension here. Right, we're not looking at the main building. And the back here, there is no evidence of any movement anywhere at the back. And I don't know what kind of foundation, so I'm assuming it's just going to be sat on rocks, or maybe it has concrete pillars which will be sat on top of the ground. And we don't really see anything too bad. And this all started because my job is to lower the gutter in so the ice is not grabbing it and destroying it every year. Right, perfectly normal here. However, the secondary job was, can I sort this out? And the reason that's always caught my eye from over there where we've been working is when you look at this, right, the steps are not level. Everything is going down. Anyway, when we come up closer, one of the most obvious things we notice first is that. Right, so we know it's dropping. And the ceiling, the false ceiling, is staying there. When we look at this closer, here, right, the concrete is disappearing into a hole. The actual concrete slab has cracked and it is taking the steps and everything with it. Now, we're not just talking about this corner, which is what I was originally asked to look at. All of this is moving. All of it. And if we want to see a good, clear indication of what's happening, how the glass is not broken, well, you know, I wondered how the glass is not broken. I'll tell you how it's not broken. It's because this is so badly made, right, the nails or the spicks that's been used are just pulling out. That's why the glass isn't broken, because it hasn't broken the sashes. It's just pulling it. It was just, well, when we go inside, we can see why, right? It's pulling away from the main building there. It's tight at the bottom. It's pulling out the top, which means this whole end is going this way. Right, the whole building is going into a hole there. All of it. That gets further evident when you, it doesn't look like a slope, but when you stand on it, it's very clearly going downhill. Very clearly. What evidence do we have here? Well, the door needed shimming, and I didn't understand why. Well, because it's a modern door and a modern door frame. See the gap at the top? So whatever's happening is pulling down there as well. It's actually pulling down on the main extension. And further evidence there. Look at that. It's pulling away from the building. And we have further evidence here. You see the gap on the top of the sash there, and here, and the posts are pulling out. So I can tell you from this, right, this was an enclosed extension behind that door. And this here, there's the original entrance to the house. This here, and we can see, was an open deck. Didn't have any of this roof on it. Didn't have any of these windows here. It was just an open deck. And when you walk down here, we're actually going downhill now. So, this post, this post, this post, and this post are all sinking into a big hole under here. Fast. Real fast. This is not a proper beam across here, this is just a 4x4. So, here's my belief. Because this area here was just an open deck, I don't believe it's got anything like that, right, substantial underneath it. I don't. I also believe it's suffering from running sand, because the concrete, everything is going into a hole here, and it's dragging this entire thing here down into that. Every post, the corner post, this post, that post, and it's tearing it off of the main building there. It's all going down into a hole. Something is shifting underneath there. I don't believe it's on any substantial foundation, and I don't believe the whole thing is substantially made, because it wouldn't be shifting if it was. It would stay there, because there's no weight on this. The ground would fall away from underneath it. Because it's so badly made, it's allowing it to move. The only strength in this building is that glass. That's it. So, I thought I'd have to jack up this corner, backfill with some concrete. No, it's the whole lot. So in order to understand what's really going on, I have to take this decking up. I have to take all that balustrading off, and then I have to take all this siding off to have a look to see what's going underneath there. And I don't know if there's no structural ground under there. I don't know how I'm gonna... Anyway, right, there's a good indication. See the balustrading? See how much angle that's at? That's because that's all pulling that way and going down into this hole. Everything is pulling. You can't see it very well from that side, but you can from there. That's how much we're out. So that's not a quick fix. That's just not a quick fix. Worrying, right? So that we're sure we're not just losing our posts, we're losing the concrete. This is not helping our vision. That is all going down into a hole. Something has very clearly shifted by a lot. You know, that's not a little bit out of level. That's a lot out of level. That could be running 4 to 5 inches over that 4-foot slab of concrete. Right, if you want that in metric, work it out. So I did, well, no I didn't, film me doing that. I don't know if it's me or the camera, but anyway, it didn't film any of it. So this morning, before I started painting the other structure that's behind me, I brought those steps out and installed those steps. Now there is another set of steps going on the corner set with balustrading. However, they are in the shop, and I've got all the stringers and stuff out. Today was supposed to be my day for making them. And the ground is saturated and soggy and quite bouncy. And then the weather broke, and I had to paint that structure over there, which was in the next video or last video, the porch on the barn, right? So once I put the steps in, you know, the sun's shining and I had a bucket of paint in my hand, and I couldn't keep, anyway, and it took me an extra couple of hours just to, you know, do that. I haven't done it all, the decking's not done, but I've done the trims, I've done the ends, I've done the posts, I just tidied it up, because with the way the weather is, and levels of bureaucracy I'm dealing with bank accounts, but I'm not going to get it. Things are set against me, even though my wife has just died, right? They just pile on, and then you've got all this. So I'm dealing, there's lots going on and lots of work, and I've got the paint in my hand, and I'm like, I'm gonna just do what I can. So tomorrow we got to take the van for a wheel alignment. A couple of things I've been putting off because I didn't think it was going to go for its safety inspection, which it did, obviously. 15 minutes, job's good. Well done, sir. I'm confused. Anyway, so now I better go and get the wheels aligned, otherwise I'm going to knock out the new tyres I just had to put on it, because I knocked out the last tyres because we were backwards and forwards to the hospital in the city, which is it's a 7-hour day, is what I'm saying, if we have a quick appointment. Anyway, what a load of shit. That's all the trims and that's the end of this video. Thank you all for watching, really appreciate it. I did on the last video, which I just done the out for now, but just in case this one comes first, because I don't know what I'm doing because they're all on the editing suite, massive thank you for the outpouring of condolences, support. I read all of them. I think I've replied to all of them. Sorry if I've missed anybody. And friends, family, fellow villagers, everybody's been really supportive, because it's not just been the grief I've been dealing with. So, you know, great support. And you lot out there, well, amazing. So grateful. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.